This is the new 2024 Toyota BZ4X. Today we're going to check out all the features and then put it to the test, right here at our Peninsula Proving Grounds. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. This is Toyota's first mass-market all-electric crossover. Called the BZ4X, it was co-developed with Subaru. So of course Subaru does sell their own version, it's called the Solterra, and other than badges, they're pretty much identical. The biggest difference being you can get the Toyota in front-wheel drive, the Subaru is only available in all-wheel drive. The model we have here is the range-topping limited trim. This comes standard with 20-inch wheels, synthetic leather, and a foot-activated rear liftgate. A panorama sunroof and surround view camera system are available options. Price as you see it here with options, $54,128 US including destination. Based on numbers alone, this BZ4X is a pretty underwhelming entry into the battery electric segment. This dual motor all-wheel drive trim has a peak 214 horsepower. That is evenly split with one motor in the front producing 107 horses and another in the back producing the same. Range is limited to 222 miles thanks to a rather small 72.8 kilowatt-hour battery pack. On a DC fast charger, this can charge from 10 to 80% in about an hour, since the dual motor version maxes out at 100 kilowatts while charging. If you do buy or lease a BZ4X, Toyota will give you a year free of the EVgo charging network. New for 2024, Toyota has added a water-to-water heat exchange system to increase the battery temperature. This makes charging in cold weather more efficient. You also get a power adapter that supports both level 1 and level 2 charging. And yes, the plug is still CCS. Back here you do get up to 27.7 cubic feet of cargo capacity behind the second row. Fold the row flat for up to 56.9 cubic feet overall. Back here you also get extra storage under the floor and a JBL subwoofer at this trim level. For car camping, I'd say this actually works pretty good. The floor is mostly flat, so you can lie down. There's a gap up here, but you can fill that with stuff. Just don't get up too quickly, because this roof is pretty low. Okay. Second row, pretty comfortable. I got headroom, I got leg room. I'm 6'1", legs torso proportionate. I fit great. I do sit a little low, but that's not so bad if it gives me extra headroom. Down here we get vents, which is good to see, as well as 3 stages of heat and 2 USB-C sockets. Now the one thing that sets me off back here though is the piano black on the door. Not only is it on the lower part, it's on the upper part too. Can you imagine if you own dogs? That is going to get shredded. Shredded. Heck, even with kids, that's a goner. It's no secret that Toyota is a little bit late to the battery electric segment. And this BZ4X is certainly no barn burner, but it does have a couple very special features. And for those, we can thank the engineers over at Subaru. The features I'm talking about are X mode and grip control. Where it seems that most electric car manufacturers are laser focused on 0 to 60 times, Toyota, in partnering with Subaru, has built a system that actually has some off-road capability, albeit a very little bit. Considering X mode, grip control, and the 8.1 inches of standard ground clearance, this might actually be one of the better battery electrics when it comes to mild off-road adventuring. Though you definitely have to switch out the wheels and tires. These 20-inchers with all seasons definitely won't do. To see if I'm right, we're going to put this BZ4X to the test right here at our Peninsula Proving Grounds. But first, let's take it for a drive. So I'm not going to get into all of this right now, simply because I have already done a full review of this vehicle when it first came out last year. However, I will touch on elements that I like and dislike as we do our drive today. Not bad. It's got a little kick to it. Although, electric cars, they're just so fast. Specifically vehicles like the Ioniq 5, the Kia EV6, heck, any of the Teslas. I mean, these are all very, very fast cars. So this vehicle is only slow if you compare it to those vehicles. If somebody gets out of a gas-powered vehicle, specifically even like a Camry V6, which is pretty quick in its own right, and jumps into this vehicle, they will be blown away by how fast this car is. But it's not exceptionally fast. And I'm not even going to do a 0 to 60 because it just doesn't really matter with this car. You're probably looking at about a 7-second 0 to 60 time. Instead, what you get is a vehicle that feels very modern. It has a good upright seating position. You have lots of physical controls here, plus a nice widescreen display. Unfortunately, we do get lots of piano black everywhere that is going to be, easy to scratch, and that's not cool, but there seems to be nothing we can say to car makers to stop putting piano black on things. All they seem to do is put more and more every year. But the one thing that I dislike even more than piano black on a vehicle is this gauge cluster. It is very high, which is nice because it kind of removes the need of having a heads-up display because it's right in your eye line. Unfortunately, for most drivers, it's also right in the way of the steering wheel. So you kind of have to get into a weird, almost wheel in lap position, which a lot of people just don't like, me being one of them. However, when you drive this vehicle a bunch, you will get used to it. It's not a deal killer, but it is kind of annoying. The BZ4X is kind of a weird entry in the all-electric segment. I mean, here is a totally modern, all-wheel drive electric car that also only has 222 miles of range in a world where a lot of car makers are pushing up to 300 miles and beyond. Heck, what's the Lucid Sapphire gets like 400 miles? Wow. But a lot of times they're doing that not by improving technology, but by simply including larger battery packs. And with a larger battery pack, that means you get more weight and more cost. So Toyota's perspective on this is if they kept the weight down and the cost down, it would make it a more appealing vehicle. Unfortunately, a lot of people just look at this and they're like, well, it only has 222 miles of range. I cannot simply drive a vehicle like that, even though my commute is 15 miles to work. No. Must have a vehicle that can do anything, including drive across the US in a single charge, apparently. Now, I'm not excusing Toyota because they really, I think, kind of missed the mark in a lot of aspects of this vehicle. It's nice to drive. It's probably nice to own. It charges reasonably quick, although not the fast. Since the charger here is only running at 100 kilowatts, it's definitely not as fast as other competition. But the overall package really isn't bad. If somebody bought this and said, you know what, this vehicle fits in my lifestyle, I would give them no garbage about that because it really is a very sensible electric car for certain buyers. It's not the do anything for everyone kind of car, but perhaps it's a car that does enough for enough. I don't know. I don't think the sales really are that big on this vehicle, but I don't think that Toyota expected the sales to be very big. So I don't think it's a disappointment. We definitely will get more BZ branded vehicles moving forward, kind of because the whole world is moving that way, regardless of what you're reading in the press. Yes, electric sales are increasing over time. So the one thing that's kind of funny is like not every electric vehicle has to be $100,000. And I'm glad to see vehicles like this kind of challenging that idea. Now, if you look at the price, I mean, this is what, mid $50,000? It's a bit much for what it is, although you aren't paying for gas anymore, especially if you have a home charger. And I expect most people who buy something like this, if they're smart, they will put in a home charger because that basically is free energy, at least here in the Pacific Northwest. We pay pennies per kilowatt around here. Also, a lot of our power is hydro, so a lot of it is considered green energy. Not everybody's, but a lot of it. Before I wrap up this test drive, I should probably cover a few basics here. Yes, this has adaptive cruise control. It's very good. Toyota Safety Sense 3.0. It's a very good system. It does, human and animal detection and all that kind of stuff. Yay. We also get different drive modes. They don't really do much. We also have, of course, buttons here for the aircon, which I like. And of course, we have both heated and cooled seats at this limited trim. So keep in mind, you don't have to spend, what is it? $54,128 to get this vehicle. You can spend less and get a lesser trim, and it still gives you the fundamentals of a decent all-wheel drive electric vehicle. Or you could buy the Subaru version, which is basically exactly the same thing. Because of Toyota's partnership with Subaru, this does have X mode, and it also has their grip control system, which is kind of like a trail control. So let's try that out right now on our Peninsula Proving Grounds. Now, we can't go too crazy off-road with this vehicle because it simply comes with 20-inch wheels with all-season radials. Those aren't great. They're just not. So we're going to have grip issues, but then also I don't really want to scratch up the wheels because that's not fair to the next journalist that needs to drive this car. You know, let's not use it up and throw it away the moment it enters the fleet. And this is an all-new 2024. I think I'm one of the first people. Yeah, it doesn't even have 1,000 miles on it. Okay, so this is our very first test. This is our easy course. We call it the Fun Forest. It basically will require us to drive up the little hill and go a little bit back and forth to see how well power is shifted around the system. Now, because this is an electric and it's a dual motor electric, there's a motor in the front, motor in the back, no physical connection between the two. It's a matter of the computers varying power front to back, and then it uses brakes to shift power left to right. If a wheel is free spinning because it has no grips, brakes will hit it, shock that power back to the other wheel. And that is what X mode is all about. X mode will adjust the amount of wheel spin it allows because sometimes you want more wheel spin and sometimes you want less. And thankfully, X mode here actually includes both snow dirt as well as the deep snow mud. Deep snow mud allows for more wheel spin. Snow dirt allows for less. Turning both those on also turns on hill descent control and should make this basically, if the geometry works with the vehicle, it should make this course a piece of cake. Let's do it. So before I kick into X mode, I'm going to show you what this powertrain does in standard drive, all-wheel drive. I'm going to approach this little climb. Obviously, this isn't too difficult. I'm just going to go really slow so that momentum doesn't carry us up. Okay, now right here, we're losing traction. Okay. There's a little wheel braking going on, but it's not helping us up the hill. So I'm going to reverse back down a little bit. I'm going to switch this into X mode, snow dirt, which is the fundamental first version of X mode. What that'll do is kick in Subaru's all-wheel drive power distribution logic, and yes, I said Subaru. And you should see those wheel brakes kicking in to help propel us up this climb. Nicely done. Very smooth. Now at this point, we're going to dip driver's side front into the hole. Going to lift that back passenger wheel. Yup. Actually, interesting, hill descent control is kicking in as we're going down because that's automatically enabled when we have X mode on. Climb back out. Ground view camera is kind of cool. Works as a trail cam. There we go. Just add a little throttle and it just climbs right out. That's very cool. Now I'm just continuing on into another tip. And this time we're going to have to climb up out of the hole, and it's going to be challenged because we're going to remove traction off two wheels. See, we're a little seesaw action here. I'm just going to add throttle and let's see if we can climb out. Now I'm just keeping throttle at about 10%. I'm not varying at all. All the varying you're seeing on the outside is X mode doing its job. Add a little more throttle. It's actually really good. Now, obviously, yes, a locking differential and something where power just goes down without having to spin the wheel first is ideal. However, these type of systems are less expensive to implement, and they also make daily drivability a little bit nicer. And then we're going to hit the exit here. This really isn't that difficult, but we're then going to line up for the logs. Make sure we don't hit that tree back there. Pretty good. Oop, a little grinding on the undercarriage. So here is a log crossing, and we're going to use this to test out a new feature called grip control. That is the Subaru developed technology that is similar to Toyota's crawl control. So why doesn't Toyota just put their crawl control on this vehicle? Well, they haven't really developed one for electric vehicles yet. That's probably why. Right, so let's see what we got here. X mode is on and it's just incorporated into X mode. And then over here I have the option for plus and minus, and that should increase and decrease the grip control drive speed. It basically is a cruise control with enhanced wheel braking for off-road. Let's start with low and see how that goes. Oop. Okay, it's going to let us up and over. Can it ease us down nicely? Oh, it's not too bad. Oh, we rolled back a little bit. I'd prefer not. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. In very difficult situations, it's a little fast. I would prefer it to be slower. And since these are electric motors, there's no reason it can't be slower. But that was really aggressive going over those logs. That's not something I'm comfortable with. And that was the slowest setting. But anyway, I want to do this manually at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and just nice and easy take it like I should have in the first place. Now, we didn't hit anything, but obviously if that was a more tricky situation, that could have gone bad. If you watch the show regularly, you might think that now we're at the end of what's on this course, other than this tree here. But that's not true. Actually, I've modified it so we have a sand pit to climb out of. That's not a huge one, but it should test the all-wheel drive capability as well as clearances as we try to get out. I'm going to swing wide to avoid the tree here, and then we go into a double dip. Here's the first dip. I can see it on the camera right here. And then there's the sand pit. And then we're going to listen for rub. Ooh, that's a lot of rubbing. Let's go back. Wheel braking kicking in. Press brake pedal. Okay, why is it so panicky? It's deactivated the gas pedal. So let's park for a second. That's a little crazy. Reverse. Oh boy, am I gonna have to get rocks out? Boy, those alerts are really crazy. Object detection. I'm in a hole. Of course there's object detection. It's the rock in front of me. So I need to turn this off. This is crazy. And these alarms are not reducing the stress level. So let's park. Okay, all those alarms are off. Let's see if it allows us to go forward. Now I'm going to put it into X mode deep snow mud because that'll allow more wheel spin. Okay, so it's finally gotten over itself. We're just going to kind of slide. Ooh, we're high centered. Actually, let's see, can I back up? Nope, wheels are off the ground. Time to get some rocks. We are thoroughly, wow, that's not even close. Right. Maybe I should have tested this first. Okay, well, let's get it off. So apparently my bump is too big. Need a smaller bump. Noted. So at this point, I'm gonna try to back up instead of going forward, because I think that'll be more successful. That's not good there. Let's see if the two wheels in the back can be enough to pull us up. That's a nice test. No, we're just digging ourselves deeper. Okay. Okay, so that's the 2024 Toyota BZ4X all-wheel drive limited. I am going to get this out in just a couple minutes, but I think that pretty much answers all the questions that we had. Overall, the BZ4X is a pretty decent little electric car if it fits your lifestyle, and that really means that having that 222-mile range be sufficient. As far as handling performance, it's a fun car to drive. It's not super fast, but it is very capable. That is until you completely high center it, at which point power distribution doesn't matter because the wheels aren't touching the ground. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share videos. We make them for you. I hope you enjoy them, and I especially hope you enjoy watching me get this out with this montage. Hey, sweetie, can you grab the keys to my truck and drive over here? I need to help it get the BZ4X out of the sand.